Hi, it's Bonnie Clark here, Bonnie Clark with Rock Solid Wealth Designs located in Temecula, California. Right up front, I'll let you know that you can reach me at Bonnie, B-O-N-N-I-E, at rocksolidwealthdesigns.com or connect with me at my website, www.rocksolidwealthdesigns.com. And busy watching all the parents scuffle around to get their kids ready to go back to school. And in my area of Southern California, we've got kids going back, I think this week and next week. So it's time to be thinking about college planning for all the kids that are going to high school. So are you trying to figure out how you're going to pay for your child's college education and have enough money to retire? You should think about both, because that's a mistake we often see, is that parents sacrifice their retirement for their child's college education and then they don't have enough time to make that money back. And you know what? Even though you give those kids a nice college education that you pay for, when it's time to retire, they really don't want you moving into their house. Okay, so think about both. And over the last 10 years, inflation, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, has averaged 2.5% per year. But during the same time period, inflation for college tuition and fees has increased approximately 7%. So no one can predict what the inflation rates in the future are going to be, but most experts, when it comes to college education, believe that it will remain in the 5 to 10% range. And so let's talk about something questions that I get asked, and that's about college savings plans, or otherwise known as 529 plans. Are they a good idea to invest in? So every family is different. Every circumstance is different. So talk to a qualified financial professional about your particular situation. But in general, let's just go over a few things. So if you're not familiar with them, a 529 plan is basically a way to save money for college with tax-free growth, as long as those funds are used for qualified educational expenses. That sounds really good, but there are 3 different reasons you may want to avoid them. Okay? And first, most of the programs aren't savings accounts at all. I told you they were basically a way to save, quote unquote, but most of them are not savings accounts at all. They're mutual funds that are invested in the stock market with all the risks that investing in the stock market involves. If we look at a 5-year period from today back 5 years, both the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the Standard & Poor's Index, very common indexes here in the United States, they averaged, their rate of return was less than 3% over this whole time period. And at different points in time, we can look back and they're negative, actually negative. So a family that sets up this type of account because of the tax advantage for college may find that none exist, or even worse, they've actually lost money in this account when it's time to pay for school. A second reason is most parents don't really focus on college planning until their kids are in high school. That shouldn't be. We should think ahead, but that is the way it is. And the major advantage to a 529 plan, college savings plan, is that if there's considerable compound interest in the plan, if there is, it can be withdrawn tax-free. But if a family is funding this plan when the student's older, it really doesn't have time to gain that benefit. And the third, and the real reason to consider other options, the reason that a 529 plan isn't a good option for many families, is that because it can actually prevent them from receiving need-based financial aid that they would have been otherwise eligible for. And we've seen many families that make very good incomes qualify for need-based financial aid if That's a big word there. If they understand the system. I'm going to be having an expert when it comes to finding money for college visit with me. He's an author and has helped thousands of kids get endowment money, which is merit-based, money that you don't have to pay back, as well as get the maximum financial aid. Families that thought they made too much money to qualify. So that is a myth, and don't let that stop you from pursuing it. But you have to understand the system. So let me just explain one little thing. So according to the Department of Education, at a public school, public college, 529 savings plans are counted against the parents at 5.4% annually. So in other words, a family that saved $100,000 in this 529 plan, in this account, would be expected to pay $5,400 more than a family that didn't save there. And then it can actually get worse when you're looking at private colleges and universities, because some of those actually count 20% or 20,000 of that 100,000 and set that aside for educational purposes. So under those circumstances, that family would lose $80,000 in need-based financial aid if they were otherwise eligible for it, because nobody bothered to explain how a 529 savings plan is counted in the financial aid formula. So obviously, as I said in the beginning, every situation is different, and there's probably many cases where using one of these vehicles makes some sense. However, other more flexible financial vehicles is what we have found work better, and we can help families accomplish some of the same things that a 529 savings plan accomplishes with more benefits. So if you're one of those people trying to figure out how you're going to pay for your child's education and have enough money to retire, one of the things that we have seen is a very effective financial vehicle is permanent life insurance. It can be a powerful tool in the college planning process. So while many scholarships reward merit, most financial aid is based on need, and to receive financial assistance, a family or a student has to complete the FAFSA. That's what it's called here in the United States. It's the free application for federal student aid. Information on this application is then analyzed using the federal methodology formula. This formula, which analyzes income, assets, and the number of children in the family, determines what the family is expected to contribute toward their college, towards the student's college education, and that's called the EFC, Expected Family Contribution. Money in stocks, CDs, and bank accounts is factored into that federal methodology formula, but permanent life insurance is not. So a child whose parents have a portion of their assets in the cash value life insurance policy, which similar to a 529 plan, if structured correctly, by an expert that knows what they're doing, has the ability to grow tax deferred and to be accessed tax free as well. It does provide a little more flexibility because it doesn't have to be used towards a qualified education like the 529 plan does. So a family whose parents have a portion of that has the chance of qualifying for more financial aid than a child of parents with the same net worth and income who had not utilized the same planning techniques. So working with a financial expert that can help you reallocate your assets, you may improve your chances that your children can qualify for more scholarships and grants. So that's a real good thing to think about, and I'm so glad my children are older and I'm not getting ready for them to go back to school, but for all you parents out there, the earlier you think about college for your children, the better, because it is a sequential process. And the financial side obviously is a big deal. So get the right information, keep searching, and if you need any questions answered, again, you can contact me at Bonnie at rocksolidwealthdesigns.com or visit me through my website, www.rocksolidwealthdesigns.com. Thanks very much and have a great day.